The Oklahoma City Thunder are building the new wave of basketball dynasties behind their core of young players that they bring back from this year, including Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who is an absolute bucket. They also have 1,000,000 picks over the next few years and a whole lot of length and athleticism, which is what we're about to talk about. Chet Holmgren, the number 2 overall pick, has looked phenomenal so far at the Summer League. Osmond Jiang as well. Jalen Williams has looked like a stud, could be one of the steals of the draft. And then the other Jalen Williams looking like a pretty good player as well. So we're here to talk about all that and more today, as the Oklahoma City Thunder should be one of the premier basketball teams of the next 10 years. Make sure you hit the like button, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and make sure you stick around till the end of the video because we're going to be talking a lot about the future of the Oklahoma City Thunder and of the NBA. So let's go ahead and get started looking at their new wave of talent. Chet Holmgren, the new era. It's time for players that are 7 foot tall, that are lanky, that can dribble, pass, and shoot, defend the rim. That's the next generation of the NBA, whether you like it or not. Chet Holmgren, we've seen him so far in the Summer League dominating. Now, I know it's just the Summer League, and he did get bulldozed by, I think it was Kenneth Lofton Jr. a couple times, or maybe it was somebody else. But he got bulldozed a couple of times against the Memphis Grizzlies. So there is a bit of concern there. But otherwise, Chet Holmgren, he's here to stay. He's looking like he's going to be a stud for the next few years. Next probably 15 to 20 years. Osmond Jiang, another guy. Probably saying his name wrong, but he's a guy that showed so much potential when he played over in Australia, when some of the guys ahead of him went down with injuries. He was tasked with being the guy that would step up and carry the load for the team, and he did that. And he launched himself into being a first-round pick. He was a late first, maybe early second-round type guy, and he became a lottery pick. So that is crazy, his improvement over 1 year, and it's looking, hopefully, like he can do the same thing for the Oklahoma City Thunder. At 6'11", can dribble, pass, and shoot, and defend. It's the new wave, I'm telling you. It's the new way to build your basketball team. We've seen teams start to copy the Thunder with the Spurs, who now have like 20-some picks over the next 7 years. Jalen Williams, another guy here, he's just going to be an absolute stud for them on down the road. Really like Jalen Williams. I mean, there is really no weakness in his game. He can play on the ball, off the ball, on both sides of the ball. So that's something you don't see very often. Very, very versatile, and looking forward to seeing him play well for the Thunder for a very long time because, he will be a backup this year, but in the future, he's going to be a stud. One of the better, he'll probably be the second best Santa Clara basketball player of all time, behind only Steve Nash. And then Jalen Williams, I believe that's J-Will, and then J-Dub is the other Jalen Williams. They got 2 of them. It's really confusing. But they pick him up out of Arkansas at about 6'10", led the country in charges, I think, last year, or maybe charges for bigs, something crazy like that. But a guy that, very good hustle guy, was willing to sacrifice his body for the team. And he can score a little bit, and he's a pretty good defender. We haven't seen him too much at the Summer League so far. But again, the Summer League, you can't really, you got to take it all with a grain of salt. Now, Lu Dort picking up his extension, and he was a guy, were they going to ship him off at the NBA draft? If Shadon Sharp fell to 8 to the Pelicans, would they ship Lu Dort to the Pels? They ended up not doing it. They ended up giving him a 5-year, $87 million contract extension. And for a guy who plays some of the best defense in the NBA, as well as averaging 17 points and 4 rebounds on somewhat efficient shooting, he needs to get the efficiency up a little bit. But still, Lu Dort, he's going to be one of my favorite players to watch in the NBA for a long time, probably, because he's one of the best defenders in the NBA. And he's somewhat undersized. Now, we've talked about it, the new era. You look at all this length and athleticism that the Oklahoma City Thunder are going to have with, Josh Giddey at 6'7", 6'8", Poku is dang near 7 foot, Shai at 6'6" as the point guard, or as the shooting guard, with Giddey at the point guard, Osmond Jiang, of course, 6'11" on down the line. Hopefully he can develop into something big. Chet, and then Darius Bazley as well. So much height, so much length. A lot of athleticism as well. That's the new era of how you build a basketball team. It's going to be scary. And they have a death lineup that they will probably implement here in the future. And it has Josh Giddey at the point guard with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at the 2, Alex Pokusevski, we'll call him Poku. He's going to be at the 3 with Chet Holmgren at the 4, Darius Bazley at the 5, or, Chet at the 5, Bazley at the 4. Either way, that is scary. And they also have a lot of big wings. Dieng, as we talked about, coming off the bench. They got Theo Maledon, who's more of a guard, but he's still got some height on him. Tre Mann as well, more of a guard. But, man, look out for Tre Mann to have a big-time season next year. He's looking like a stud. You also got the undrafted free agent from last year in Aaron Wiggins. He looks like a very nice two-way player off the bench. And then Jeremiah Robinson-Earl as well. All these guys, 6'6", 6'7", 6'8". In Dieng's case, 6'10". Maledon and Mann maybe a little shorter, but I believe they're both bigger guards as well. So they're starting to follow that Raptors model. Again, you see it all over their roster, getting the big wings, very switchable. And the NBA is becoming a defensive league. Once again, we saw two of the best defenses in the NBA Finals. Now, the next GOAT. The Thunder are in a position where they can go out and get one of the few players to come into the NBA with legit GOAT potential. Victor Wembanyama coming into the league at 7'3", even though he got a picture next to 7'4" Zach Edey that goes to Purdue right now, and he's taller than him by, it looks like, a nice margin. Wembanyama has been playing overseas in France, of course, and he dominated the U18 championships last year, which is what you're seeing right now against, there was 3 top 10 picks in this year's NBA draft on that Team USA team. So look out for that cat right there. And the Thunder have all the draft capital in the world. You look at all these picks, the 27 first-round picks over the next few years. They can, I guess it's 24 now after they used their 3 this year. But they literally have endless amounts of picks that they can trade up for in the draft if they really think that Wembanyama is worth it, and if they don't look out, because there's a good chance that one of their picks is going to be at the top of the draft next year if it's not their own. And then, of course, they have very valuable picks on down the line in the Clippers picks for once, Kawhi and Paul George leave. So they're looking really, really good on the pick side of things that they can trade up for. Now, the last thing here, the new generation. Again, I've said it multiple times throughout the video, but the new generation of the NBA player. Imagine these 4 guys on the court at the same time, because it can definitely happen. You can throw like Josh Giddey out there to handle the ball for most of the time, with Dieng at the 2, Poku at the 3, Chet at the 4, and Wembanyama at the 5. Not a lot of strength in that lineup. Their combined bench press might be about 600 pounds. But still, they can all dribble, pass, and shoot. Expect Poku to have a nicer season next year. Dieng might spend some time in the G League. But, yeah, this is a new wave of NBA basketball. With that being said, that's going to be it for today's video. Let me know your thoughts on the Thunder future down in the comments below. Make sure to hit the like button and the subscribe button if you did enjoy at any point. And make sure to, like I said, leave me a comment down below. And, yeah, with all that being said, thank you so much for watching today's video.